Oh, okay. Hi. It's been years since this happened. So, this is a strain, I think, in the 5th or 6th year of its phenotype development, between ghost pepper and either a Trinidad scorpion or, do you remember what the other type might have possibly been?
No.
So basically just stellar awesomeness. The phenotype has started to stabilize, and this is the result. It is just gorgeous. Pimply and ripply and curvaceous and gorgeous. Yes, I said that.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut into this one. Let's see what's going on here. This one is the biggest out of the batch that we have right here. I have to cook in the morning, and I'm not using gloves right now. This is probably a problem. So the first thing we're going to look at is how big the placenta is running all the way through it. The second thing we're going to look at is how much yellow liquid is running through. So, about 50-50, roughly. Looks very good. More yellow liquid than clear, which is a good sign for pain. Yes, that was awkward. And I'm going to take about 5 or 6 seeds for the garden next year. Thank you, Joey. Chuck, you want some?
Mm-mm.
No?
They wouldn't get used in my home.
Yeah. Chuck, do you want to cut into yours and have a look and see? Oh. Woo. 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 All right. One more, and I'll be set. All right. Those are my seeds that I'm going to save. Definitely has those sweet red bell pepper / floral notes of a ghost pepper.
Oh yeah, these are very floral peppers.
So neither Chuck or I have eaten a full chili in a long time. Generally, we focus on super hots and ultra hots, but we haven't eaten anything of any kind, so we have no idea where our tolerance is.
So yeah, it's last time I had a full chili pepper was 2 years ago, and it was a freeze-dried and frozen habanero. So,
In case y'all didn't know, if you dry a habanero, it concentrates the heat. There's no moisture to displace it. It has been several years. 6 years since I've actively eaten a chili. Probably about 3 since I've had a whole one. And I think it was one of Joey's earlier phenotypes.
let's say I had not a full pepper. I had like a quarter of a pepper last year's strain.
Okay. So
And these have always been very floral with some citrus notes. They actually have a lot of sweetness to them, which is always nice with a really hot pepper.
Yes. So,
So you can smell the sweetness in these.
Contrary to popular belief, a lot of people say that just because something's so hot, they have no flavor whatsoever. That's completely BS. It is directly dependent on your tolerance. The higher your tolerance, the more you can taste the flavor a pepper has to offer. The hottest chili I've ever eaten was a Trinidad Moruga Scorpion at 2 million Scovilles. Second hottest pepper in the world at the time. And my tolerance was such that I was able to taste every note in it. It was one of the most phenomenally delicious peppers I've ever eaten. Given my time and my tolerance decreasing, I don't know if I'll be able to taste this. It might bleach my taste buds like that. Alright, so here are the rules. Each of us are going to have a spit cup. I have an extraordinarily sensitive stomach. I will not be swallowing this. That is Chuck's option. He can
I've
swallow it.
never swallowed
or
a
he
hot
spit it
pepper,
out.
and I probably am not going to start right now.
Yeah. And we also have to work in the morning. Generally, the volcano butt happens the next morning. Volcano butt, say no. Just say no. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to chew these up, the whole chili, for 1 minute.
I won't last a minute
Full
because
chew.
I will leave. My
Okay.
mouth will be over full.
Or spit when you need to.
Yeah.
My goal is to go for an entire minute. We're going to spit them out. We're going to get any and all seeds out. These are just in case it is entirely too much. In the years that we have eaten chilies, we have never once had to drink our milk because that's not the goal. The goal is to ride out the pain, feel it, and wait for the endorphin dump, which is inevitable, especially when you've reached your tolerance. Or because like every time you reach an endorphin dump, you extend your tolerance up. You build your tolerance further because you've reached that point of pain where your brain has to override it with endorphins just to get past it. So that's a good sign, and it's also very pleasurable. I'm not ready. Are you ready?
No.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
This is probably going to be extremely hard.
My
to fit
best
in my
not to touch the inside of the pepper.
That's what she said. Alright, starting time on 3. God. I'm not ready for this. Yes?
Yes.
Alright. 3, 2, 1. Good God. Ooh. This is hot. This is good. I don't know why for me, it always gets under the tongue. Woo! So, usually with ghost peppers, the burn takes some time for the onset. I'm going to attribute this to my lack of tolerance and having a poor point of reference. The onset was pretty damn immediate. However, onset is different from the peak of the build. This is going to... Oh, God. Yep. And it's going to continue to build. Now, the reason a Bujalokia is called a ghost pepper is because it has a phantom effect. I'm going to try to talk through this. This is going to be really difficult. They have a phantom effect of the build. You finish eating it, and then it sits and it does nothing. The heat doesn't build at all. And then, once you feel like you're resting on your laurels and it's over, the heat hits you out of nowhere and it explodes and it continues to build and it seems to be endless. Hence the name ghost pepper. Creeps up on you.
Oh, the full head tingle starting.
Yeah. We're both already tearing. We're both already... Noses are running like crazy. Woo! The real fun begins when we have to blow our nose. So there was a point when eating a ghost pepper was like candy to me. It was like eating a like a banana pepper. Okay. Oh crap! Here it goes. This is gonna suck. Oh.
So this burn is more focused on the edges of the tongue,
That's where mine is.
roof of the mouth, and slightly back of the throat.
So mine was, as I was chewing, it was trying to snake its way down to the roof of my mouth, or the under the tongue, and I was desperately trying to keep that from happening because that's a particular sensitive spot for me. I hate under the tongue burns. The other place I was desperately trying to avoid was the impulse to swallow some of the juice because, you know, when you're chewing the pepper, it gets so juicy. And try not to swallow it because you don't want that in the back of your throat.
Whew.
All right, so the tears are starting to stop.
Yep.
I'm starting to calm them down a little bit, but that doesn't mean anything for the build. I'm just kind of acclimating. The build's still going. I'm just acclimating to it. My heat receptors are starting to, I guess, get plugged, so to speak. They're becoming deadened, which is kind of the whole concept of tolerance building. Whole roof of my mouth is numb.
Yep.
The inside membrane of my lips are starting to burn. Just slightly, it's more of a tingle.
The burps are coming.
The yerps. Ugh. The burning's going to the outside of my lips now. Oh. Jeez, Joey. Well done. Well done. Whew. That pepper was such a mouthful. So that chili was very thin walled, very thin membrane in the placenta. A good pack in seeds. A really good ratio of seeds for the sort of chili it is. So Bujalokia, being of the Naga strain, they tend to not be as full in the cavity as some of your others, like your 7-pots, your habanero varieties. The placenta fills up, and there's usually less seeds in those because they're so full.
That's another possible mix, and this is a 7-pot.
7-pot?
So there was a year they grew 7 pots at the same time with it. So it is a possibility it has some.
Oh, I mean,
7-pot in it.
it would be if there was any natural pollinators out there. It would be 7-pot in it.
Which is where you would get some of that fullness from.
Yeah. There was an impressive amount of seed in that.
Let's say the floral note in that pepper is very, very heavy. It's what you really get really strong, really at the very beginning of that pepper.
It's a nice touch. So if anybody's familiar with a true Bujalokia or true ghost pepper. So they hit it 1 million on the Scoville unit. What, around 2005, 2008 was the hottest pepper in the world, give or take. It's more than doubled that now. So if someone has the tenacity to eat one and has the tolerance to enjoy the flavor of it, the first note that comes in a true Jalokia is a really strong, sweet red bell pepper that you would get in your grocery store. That comes in first. And that's immediately overshadowed and drowned out by this really lush floral note. It's like the two flavors, the bell pepper and the floral note, kind of dance between each other, and then ultimately the floral note takes over. This one, I do agree with Chuck on this. The floral note was much more there than the bell pepper. The bell pepper flavor was much more delicate. But anytime you have a ripened red chili pepper, you're gonna get some sort of red chili or red bell pepper aroma or flavor or aromatic. But it's interesting to taste a floral note rather than smell it, and in this you taste it.
So the floral comes in really, really strong on this pepper. But as you get into the pepper, you get more and more citrus.
Okay, that's a really good point.
Tagged along with a little bit of sweetness coming in.
So, that's a really good point. So, in a bell pepper note, in a floral note, and a citrus note, all those are going to present a citrusy flavor. But a citrusy note is very distinct in the chili pepper world from floral notes and bell pepper notes. Floral notes and bell pepper notes, by and large, from my experience, please correct me if I'm wrong, belong to the Naga family, which is where the Bujalokia comes from. Your profound citrus notes, which is what habaneros are famous for, is, their citrus notes, their incredible flavor. The flavor that they add to a dish if you can master that heat, depending on your cooking technique and or your tolerance. Having those combined, having a very mild bell pepper, plus having a floral note, plus having citrus in there, gives credence to the 7-pot, because a 7-pot's a habanero variety. It's a habanero strain. 7-pots are gnarly. Have you ever had a brain strain before?
No. I'd say probably one of my favorite peppers I ever tried was a MOA Scotch bonnet.
I love Scotch bonnets, but I've never had an MLA specific. Can you define MLA for me? Is that a grower?
Maybe MLA is not the correct that I'm thinking of. Came into Greg Dooley's garden.
Oh, okay.
You were there with
we got to tag him in this now, right?
You were there when I had it. It was at his house. Straight off the plant.
Right. Okay, so that was your first introduction into hots.
Yeah. And that was, that was a big pepper.
Yeah.
And it was delicious.
Greg Dooley can grow. He grows phenomenal chilies. Some of those beautiful chilies I've ever seen. So, a quick aside, if anybody is wondering what the difference is between warm, hot, super hot, ultra hot. Warm is pretty much anything in the jalapenos don't even really count. Anything in the cayenne pepper to Thai bird chili, Thai chili category. Hot is pretty much anything capped at habaneros. So habaneros are about 250,000 Scovilles. And of course, you have the more hard-to-find red Savina, which is 577,000 Scovilles. but right at like from the boundary of a habanero. Habaneros are the hottest naturally occurring without hybridization peppers on the planet. If there was no cross breeding, habaneros are the hottest found in nature. So you get beyond 250,000 Scovilles, give or take, up to 1,000,000, you have your super hot range. Anything, so a 1,000,000 Scovilles is your ghost pepper. Anything from 1,000,000 all the way on up is your ultra hots. So that's your 7 pots, any of your 7 pots, and 7 pot being 1 pepper will season 7 pots of chili thoroughly. That's all of your 7 pots. That's the vast majority of your nagas. Let's see, that's your big mama, big black mama. That is most of your ghost derivatives. Can you think of anything else?
No.
Up in that range? Like, there is so many peppers these days because the vast majority are grown for ultra hot range because it's just fun as all hell. In my opinion, this particular chili was a phenomenal experience, and I was scared to death.
I have to say, I was not looking forward to that, and I have to say it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. And the fact that I'm already on the downslope on this pepper is very surprising. I mean, I've been on the downslope for at least 2 or 3 minutes at this point.
Same. I think we hit the downslope about the same time. So, cheers.
Cheers.
No.
But I don't want to.
Cheers.
I don't want milk.
We're not drinking this. We're putting it back down.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, fuck that. I want my beer.